everyone, welcome to Nana's Tiny Kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing something that kind of brought back a lot of memories. It's kind of a spin on a Swedish meatball, but not quite a Swedish meatball. I'll give you a little background on it. When my kids were little, like really little, like both of them pretty much in diapers because they were a year and 10 months apart, my ex used to give me $40 a week to go food shopping. He had no concept of what it was like to go into the supermarket and actually buy food. Meanwhile, I had to get diapers and whatever. So, you know, I was really young, so I didn't know. I mean, I would go to the supermarket, and this is what I had in my hand. And I would have my little calculator, and I pretty much could only get the big giant thing of chopped meat. And it was like that value pack. And I learned how to cook probably more than a dozen things, different things, out of chopped meat. And one of the recipes I came up with was a spin on a Swedish meatball. So I'm going to show you how I did it. And yeah, let's get it done. All right, we're going to start with, you know, I don't buy breadcrumbs from the supermarket. I just took 2 slices of bread. This is sourdough bread. I'm going to break them apart, put them in here, and get them ground up and get all my seasonings in there. Okay, I'm going to put some garlic in there, probably the equivalent of 2 teaspoons. I am going to put a little bit of cayenne because I want a little bit of spice on this. A little bit of onion powder. Probably a full teaspoon of onion powder. Some ground black pepper. Probably about a 1/4 teaspoon, a little bit more maybe, of ground pepper. Some ground white pepper, maybe less than a 1/4 teaspoon. Some parsley flakes. It's about a teaspoon. Just give it a squeeze and wake it up a little. And where's my salt? Okay, some salt. And let's get this pounded down. Now, I like using the fresh bread. If you've watched my videos before where I do anything that has to do with a meatball or the breadcrumbs inside of whatever I'm making, it eliminates that step of having to soak it in milk. Let's give it a taste. Okay, I can taste the garlic. I can taste the parsley, salt, pepper. Good. Tastes really good. Okay, in this, I have some ground beef and 1 large egg. Now, you don't have to do this with ground beef. You can actually use ground turkey if you wanted to, ground pork if you wanted to. I mean, you can change anything in the spices, in whatever is going in here. Change it to your taste. I'm just showing you how I do it. Okay, let's get these breadcrumbs in here. And I figured out that 2 large slices of bread works really well. It's like the perfect amount. Okay, I'm going to get this all mixed up, and then I'm going to start making my tiny meatballs. All right, I put a plate out here, and before I got all the breadcrumbs and everything combined, I'm just going to add, because beef loves Worcestershire sauce, I'm going to add probably about 1.5 tablespoons of Worcestershire and get that mixed in there as well. It just gives it a really, really nice flavor. Now, if you wanted to do this kind of like Asian style, you can ground up a little bit of ginger and soy sauce, and it will probably be really, really nice. I'm just showing you my way. Okay, we're going to go tiny bit. Just made some tiny meatballs. And I'm going to put them aside on a plate. This is going to take a while. In the meantime, my pan is heating up here. I'm going to drop a little extra virgin olive oil in there, but you can certainly bake the meatballs. Put them on a tray, 375 for about 30, 40 minutes. And you got meatballs. If you don't want the oil. To me, it doesn't matter because it's extra virgin olive oil. And I just like the crust on it better when you fry them. Now, if I was doing a Swedish meatball, I'd be adding the allspice to it, which is traditional in the Swedish meatball. Try to keep these all around the same size, but there are no rules. If you got like a tiny scoop thingy, instead of hand rolling each one of them, that would work too. Now, in retrospect, I was thinking about how many things I used to make with chopped meat. Lord, oh gosh, chili, meatballs, or a meat sauce, meatloaf, these little meatballs. And this is almost like when I'm finished done putting everything together, it's almost like a poor man's stew. Stew only made with meatballs. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of these rolled up. So you don't have to listen to me yammering on. Okie doke. Alright, now all of our meatballs, you get quite a bit out of this. I mean, as you can see, that's quite a bit of meatballs. And they're tiny and they're nice and browned. I set them aside. In this pan, I got a little bit of olive oil, which is heating up. And I'm going to start sauteing some onions. And I want to say about, probably about a half a cup of onions are going in there. And on the side here, I have 1 clove of garlic that I actually sliced in half that I'm going to grate into this. I sliced up some carrots. These were actually frozen carrots, the little baby carrots, and I just cut them up. And 1 large potato that I cut into tiny cube pieces because we want them to cook relatively quickly. And you know, potatoes, if you bite into a potato and it's not cooked, it's icky. I'm going to get this sauteed. Should I use my spurtle? I don't know. Or should I use my other thingy? Let's try this one. And this is going to get all sauteed. Throw a little salt in it to move it along. And like I said, I came up with this recipe because at the time I was very young with 2 tiny little kids, and this is what he gave me to shop with, and I just had to become really resourceful. I didn't know. My mom always cooked, so I was always the one that cooked in the house for him and for the kids. So we used to make a lot of different things out of chopped meat. And you know what? I mean, I'm not complaining because this happened to be, the kids loved it. It came out really good. And I like it too. Okay, onions look good. I'm going to grate up a little garlic in there. No vampires on this street. I put garlic in everything. Just about. Well, not on my pancakes, but you know what I mean. And like I said in the beginning, if you want to change this recipe up to suit your tastes, do like a ground turkey. You could do like I said, an Asian style with some ground up ginger would be fantastic, and a little soy sauce in there in the mixture would be really, really good. Okay, this looks good. So now I'm going to add probably about a tablespoon of butter. Because I want to make a roux. In this thing I have 2 cups of beef broth. You could use beef stock. You could use chicken stock, depending on what kind of meatballs you make. If you use the ground turkey, I would probably use the chicken stock. You can even use a vegetable stock. Because this is beef, I chose the beef stock. I'm going to take a couple of tablespoons of flour. Get this stuff stirred up. Make a nice roux. This is just going to help the gravy get nice and thick. I like recipes like this because it's kind of like a stick to your ribs. Right now, I'm up in the Catskill Mountains. We're freezing our butts off. The snow machine hasn't stopped. Everybody who last year sold their snowmobile because we didn't get snow for the last couple of seasons is regretting it now. Okay, now I'm going to put my beef stock in. Stir it in. Now we already have the onions and the garlic in there. So now we're going to add our stuff like salt and pepper to taste. Now don't forget the beef stock and the beef broth, they usually have already salt in it. So let me just get the taste. Yep. Perfect. Some pepper. I like a lot of black pepper in this. I like a little bit of spice. Now we're going to put our meatballs in. Get in there, guys. Everybody in. Okay. Give this a little bit of a stir. I'm going to put my carrots in. And like I said, it's kind of like a meatball stew. You could put any vegetables you want in here. You want to put some green beans. You want to put some broccoli, cauliflower. I just added the carrots because I like the color. You could put peas in here. Anything you like. There's no rules. That's what's awesome about this. Straight carrot. Now I'm going to hit it with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce again. Probably about another tablespoon. Now, I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of soy sauce. I like soy sauce in this. Even though this isn't the Asian version, I actually do like the soy sauce in this. I'm going to make sure my potatoes are in the hot tub or in the tub because I want them to get cooked. And this I'm going to put on low, put a cover on it. If I can find the cover. Where'd you go, cover? Tiny kitchen. And I'm going to let this go for probably about 40 minutes, I want to say. And then we'll check it and we'll see where we're at. Oh, and by the way, this is going to go over some delicious buttered noodles. But you can certainly do mashed potato. If you wanted to do a nice creamy garlic mashed potato and make like a little bowl on your plate with the reservoir in the middle and put the meatballs in the thing right in the middle of it, that would be delicious with some biscuits on the side. Oof, sounds good to me. Okay, we're ready. This has been cooking for about 40-45 minutes. I just want to make sure that the potatoes are cooked through. Let me get a spoon and we'll start serving this up. Like I said, I made some buttered noodles. You could certainly do like mashed potatoes if that's what you're into. Let's see. I'm going to put a bed of noodles down. And then we got our delicious meatballs in our gravy. Of course, gravy over the noodles. Let's not get cheap here. And you got delicious carrots in there. There you go, guys. Wonderful. It's very, very tasty. It's very easy. You can certainly make your own adjustments, like I said earlier in the video, if you wanted to do an Asian style or whatever you want in your meatball. But the concept is to have like sort of like a Swedish meatball, but not really. I made some beautiful biscuits on the side, so we can certainly put one of these. Add a little butter to that, and let's give it a taste. I want to see how these meatballs came out. Even though I know that they're going to be hotter than Hades. A little bit of meatball, a little bit of noodle in there. Mmm. Delicious. The meatballs are nice and moist because I used the fresh bread. You can taste all the flavors in there of the garlic and the Worcestershire sauce. Delicious. With a biscuit, oh my God. This is amazing. Please try this and let me know what you think. I love it. I hope you love it. Till next time. Thanks. Ciao.